What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the show. So we're going to take a look at Maine today, the Senate race. And this race is shaping up to be a very interesting race. So you have Susan Collins, who is the incumbent, and she's been in office for a very long time. And now she's facing some real serious competition from Platner, who has never held office before. And so if he wins, this would be his first time winning a seat in Congress. And Platner's also running in a primary against Mills, who's a two-time governor. And the most interesting thing about this is Platner is beating both Mills and Collins in the polling. So we're going to take a look at that today, and then we'll go over to the Senate map, and I'll show you why Maine is very important. If Democrats want to take back control of the Senate in the midterm election, they're going to have to go through Maine. So I'll show you guys that. And so we're going to break down all that information in this video today. But first off, if you guys can do me a favor, please like the video. And if you're watching this video and you want to see more content like this, please consider subscribing to the channel. Okay, so we're looking at Real Clear Politics, and I want to take a look at the polling. So we're going to look at the polling for the primary, and then we're also going to look at the polling head-to-head against Collins. And so we'll look at Platner versus Collins, and we'll also look at Mills versus Collins. Okay, so first off, looking at the primary here, you have Platner, and you can see here, Platner is, the Real Clear Politics average has Platner at plus 22. Okay, so plus 22. If we look, I'm not going to look at the other races here, these 2%, because as it stands right now, Mills and Platner, they're pretty much, it's going to be either one of them that's going to win in this primary. But you see Mills at 31.8%. You see Platner at 53.8%. And remember, this is the Real Clear Politics average. Now, if we look at some of the individual polls, and this is the main poll that I want to focus on because this is the latest poll here. So this MPRC poll. And this was conducted between 320 and 331. You have Platner at 61, you have Mills at 28, and you have Platner plus 33. And we'll go take a look at a couple more. Emerson polling, you have this was conducted between 321 and 323. You have Platner at 55, you had Mills at 28, and you have Platner at plus 27. And then we have the Qantas poll here. This was conducted between 3-3 and 3-5. You have Platner at 43. You have Mills at 38. You have Platner plus 5. And you see, if we look at the other two, we don't have to go through everything, but you see Platner is a plus 7 here, and Platner is a plus 38 here. So Platner has the advantage when it comes to the primary based on the latest polling. And to even go a step further, I haven't seen a single poll that has Mills ahead of Platner in the primary. So Platner does have an advantage when we're looking at the polls. Now, this could be a variety of different reasons. I've always asked myself why. I mean, Mills does have the experience. She's a two-time governor. She looks like she would be the shoo-in to win, but Mills is older. Okay, she's 70. I think she's like 78 years old. So she might have one term as senator if she wins, maybe 2 terms. And that could be what some of the voters in Maine are looking at. They're looking at the fact that you have a Platner that's in his 40s versus a Mills who's 78. And so basically Platner could be in office for a longer period of time than Mills, and people could be looking at that. And so in this primary race, it's looking more and more like Platner will probably be able to win just based on the polling. Okay, now let's look at the Senate race in Maine. This is Collins versus Mills. Okay, so looking at this one, you have Collins at plus 0.2, okay? And that's the Real Clear Politics average. If we look at the MPRC poll that was conducted between 320 and 331, you have Collins at 45, you have Mills at 42, so you have Collins plus 3. Then you have the Emerson poll here conducted between 321 and 323. That shows Collins at 43, Mills at 46. That's Mills plus 3. And then we'll briefly look at the Qantas poll conducted between March 3rd and March 5th. You have Collins at 45, Mills at 43, Collins plus 2. And then the Pan-Atlantic, we'll do this one just because it's a tie. You have this conducted between February 20th and March 2nd. You have 44 for Collins, 44 for Mills, and so that's a dead tie there. So you see that Collins has a slight advantage in the Real Clear Politics average, and she also has an advantage in the latest polling. And so if you're in the Collins camp and you want Collins to win, you want to go against Mills. You don't want to go against Platner. And I'll show you the reason why you don't want to go against Platner in a second. But polling is showing they're pretty much neck and neck, Mills and Collins. And so in this polling, Collins does have a real shot of retaining her Senate seat if she goes against Mills. Now, let me show you Collins against Platner. So this is Collins versus Platner. So we're looking at Collins versus Platner. It's a whole different story. And so the Real Clear Politics average has Platner at plus 7.6. And so this is showing Platner at 47.6, Collins at 40%. And so you see here, even looking at the Real Clear Politics average, Platner has a substantial lead over Collins. Okay, let's look at some of the individual polls. So the MPRC poll, this is connected between 320 and 331. You have Platner at 48, Collins at 39, Platner plus 9. Emerson poll, conducted between 321 and 323. You have Platner at 48, Collins at 41, Platner plus 7. Qantas poll, conducted between 3.3 and 3.5. You have Platner at 49, Collins at 42, Platner plus 7. And then if you just look at the last two polls, you have a Platner plus 4 and a Platner plus 11. And so you see Platner is dominating the polls against Collins. And Collins is the incumbent. So she is not showing any type of incumbent advantage in this polling. And so if we were to see Platner win in the primary against Mills, Platner has a really good shot of winning in Maine. Now let's take a look at the Senate map. And so looking at the Senate map, right now we have Democrats and Independents at 47, Republicans at 53. The reason why Maine is so very important is let's just fill this in without Maine first. And so let's say Democrats are able to win in North Carolina, they're able to win in Alaska, and they're even able to win in, let's say, Ohio. Now we're looking at Democrats and Independents at 50, Republicans at 50. Republicans would still have control of the Senate because the vice president comes in and breaks the tie. But you can see that if we're looking at a situation like this, Democrats' best opportunity at this point would be to win in Maine. And if Democrats don't win in Maine, it's going to be very hard for them because they're going to have to win in a state like Texas, or they're going to have to win in a state like Iowa. Now, I'm not saying these states, it's going to be impossible for them to win in an Iowa or a Texas, but I'm just saying it would be a lot easier if they were to win in Maine and Ohio to take back control of the Senate. And I should also point out that Democrats need to defend some states. They need to defend Georgia, they need to defend Michigan, and they need to defend New Hampshire. And so if they can do all that and then win Maine on top of it, then they'll get 51. Democrats would take back control of the Senate. But you see, most scenarios that we're looking at when it comes to Democrats, they're going to have to go through Maine, because if they can't win in Maine, it's going to be very hard for them to win in some of these other states. And I would also say that when we're looking at just the hierarchy of the states that Democrats have the best opportunity to win, I would say North Carolina would be first, and then I would say Maine would be second. And so a lot is riding on Maine. And the good news is Platner is performing really well in Maine right now, according to the polling, and Platner does have a real shot of beating Collins. But I want to know what you guys think. Do you think Maine is the key? Let me know in the comments below. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe for more. And remember, stay informed, stay engaged, and I'll talk to you in the next one. So that's all we have for this video. Make sure if you guys want to send me an email, you can do that, david@thetecshow.com. Like the video, subscribe for more, and check out these videos over here for some more great content. Talk to you later. Bye.